You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep going from most recent, rather than doing this thing where we try to catch up and we do Monday calls pretty much all week and then never get to the midweek calls and the more updated calls. Let's just stick to most recent and work our way backward. I think that it makes sense to me. Let's try it. All right. With that, let's get started with Beer Cheese Benny.
Hey, Ryan. Beer Cheese Benny. Kind of over the loss now. Don't really care.
That's good.
But one thing I want to say about the game is screw Romeo Doubs for not being able to recover the onside kick. I mean, a middle schooler can do that. It's ridiculous. But the game's not really on him. Okay, it should have never came down to that, I guess. You have the offense just, I don't know what it is this year. It seems like this year this has been a trend where Love and the offense, they're just brain dead when they get to the red zone. And I just don't get it, man. I don't get especially the first trip down where Love for the incompletion of Watson, I'm just like, why are we not throwing to the short side of the field? Like, everybody's bunched up on defense, on their defense over that way. Why aren't we scheming something to the short side of the field? I mean, and it's just like, you could see, there was just nothing there, and Love was just like, well, this is the highest percentage play, where I could even get something, and, I mean, he was covered tightly, and there's just nothing. So, I mean, it's like, we were able to move the ball and get it down there, but field goals don't cut it, man. We gotta score tutties. And, I mean, Nixon's a bum, bro. That dude is busted coverage every freaking time. No, I don't care, man. Whatever. Should have drafted some corners, man. Or did something with that, because, I mean, we all saw this coming, man. We knew the corner room wasn't good enough. But whatever, dude. Doesn't matter. Just win. And you know how I hate the similarities? People comparing teams to other past Super Bowl teams, but dude, it's getting kind of scary how similar this season is to 2010. I know, the injuries part of it, it's not really the same because 2010 it wasn't like that crazy. Sorry, lost my voice. But Rodgers had a concussion. Now Love has a concussion in December. And we won our last two games in 2010, so hopefully that happens here, and then we just win out, man. But I just find that kind of crazy. So go Pack, go. We're gonna be fine. And yeah, just hope that we can change it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we could have got corners, although I don't know which corners we could have drafted that would have been good. I don't know that any of them are kind of killing it right now. We certainly need offensive line. That is I still think that's our biggest need right now. It's a freaking disaster. Defensive tackle, I think, is terrible. That would have been something to draft, certainly. But again, it's one thing to say we need it and should have fixed it. It's another thing to actually, what are the odds that if we had tried to, let's say, reach for somebody, that we would have ended up having somebody that would have been really good and would have fixed the problem? You can draft a corner all you want. That doesn't mean you're going to have some kind of lockdown corner sitting there. In fact, just peeking at it right now, the highest graded corner is Marcus Harris with a 68 PFF grade. So there isn't one in the entire draft class that PFF is giving a quote-unquote good grade to. Will Johnson if we sort it by coverage, then Denzel Burke would be a 71, I guess. So there would be one good corner. I don't know why. I'm trying to get this to pop up, but PFF's being stupid right now and doesn't want to work. So I can't really look at details. But Will Johnson with a 69. Maxwell Hairston, 65. I'm trying to look at guys. Trey Amos, that everybody was all hyped up about. That dude's got a 55 grade, 39 run defense, 44 tackling, and 58 coverage. He had like one good play in the offseason. Everyone was like, we should have drafted Trey Amos. Can't believe it. Azarie Thomas was another option. He's got a 55 coverage grade. Jahdae Barron obviously was a massive, like everybody was big on Jahdae Barron. He has a 49 coverage grade. Benjamin Morrison has played 8 games and has a 46 grade. By the way, Azarie Thomas has played 8 games. Trey Amos has played 10 games. Hairston has played 9 games. Johnson has played 10 games. None of these guys have played all season. And then Savone Revel, the, freak guy, whatever. He is the lowest graded corner. He's only played 6 games and has a 32 coverage grade. That was one we talked a ton about. Oh, now it wants to pop up. He was a 3rd round pick, went to the Dallas Cowboys. He has played 292 snaps. He's started 4 games, weeks 13, 14, 15, 16. In those games, his coverage grades have been 52, 29, 41, and 42. So, again, we could have drafted Revel for sure. That would have gotten everybody really excited, but he wouldn't be starting right now. So. But yeah, it's not going great. Started off good, but I think everything's starting to fall apart a little bit. Corner, we talk about that a little. I talk about it a little bit tomorrow. That even the things that were working like corner are starting to not really work so much anymore. Valentine had a terrible. Everybody had their worst day against the Bears. Obviously, just freaking nonsense, bull crap.
Hey Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny here. The better team lost, but unfortunately, the better team only played better for about 90-85% of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say they only played better for I don't know, 57, 58 minutes. I guess we could call it. I don't know. But people want to fire Bisaccia and all that, but
didn't you say
let's
that
say we had
yesterday?
fired Bisaccia 2 weeks ago. Does Romeo Doubs still catch the ball? I don't think so. And I thought Matt LaFleur did a very good job. For some freaking reason, man, this is happening a lot this season, is that just the brain deadness of the red zone. Like, Love just becomes brain dead. And the whole offense does. Jordan Morgan is horrible. He's just terrible. And so that's another issue.
He is the worst offensive lineman we have outside of our left guard, our center, and our right guard.
We're going to have to dig deep, man. We only need to get one more win to get into the playoffs. And like I always say, if we get in the playoffs, I like our chances. You know what I mean? Every year, any year. Doesn't matter, because you never know. Again, you never know, if you get in, and sometimes you just get the team's worst. And, you don't even have to be that good. You just, like, the other team doesn't show up. And I like the chances. I like taking the chances on that. So we've got to just freaking nut up or shut up.
True.
But, Caleb Williams did a good job, man.
Yeah, in the last 2 minutes he did.
Until, we basically gave it to them. And the Bears were giving it to us, man. It was another situation, like last week, where if you turn one of those field goals into a touchdown, the game is never intact for the Bears. They would never win. And I got to give credit to our defense, because without Parsons, we were getting the pressures, man. And it just kills me that Brinson, the game was over, man. He has a face mask. And by the way, referees, you don't have to call that, by the way. didn't call it for us in 2009 against Rodgers when Cardinals face matched him. I don't know why we have to always call that. But anyways, yeah, dude, just ridiculousness, man. Just absolute stupidity. And we're going to have to find a new way.
Yeah, that's, again, it's another thing for tomorrow's podcast, but it's, we shouldn't be in a position, we should have had this locked up by now. But given a series of unfortunate events and whatnot, that has not been the case. And not only is that not the case as far as, in the past, but in the future. In other words, are we going to get the thing, or I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be getting done what we need to get done, but we shall see. We got 2 weeks to win a frickin' game. A game. And I don't know if we're going to have a quarterback to do so. I don't know what we're going to have to stitch together with frickin' duct tape to make this thing work. But like I said, just get to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Just go to the playoffs, and then we'll figure it out.
Hey, Ryan, Beer G's Benny here. I wanted to say something here. It's kind of unrelated to the Packers. Okay, well, it's not really. It's unrelated to the game. It is, but it isn't. Listen.
Okay.
So I don't wash the jersey I wear if we win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say this is going to be crazy.
Okay.
But thank God we lost, because the Jordan Love jersey that I've been wearing, it smells god-awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it just smells like absolute be-all. And I had been spraying like Febreze on it before the game, watching the game, because I sweat so much during these games.
Okay.
It was just smelling terrible, dude. Now I finally get to wash it. Because I'm pretty sure every time I've worn it this season, we've won. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I think all the losses that we had, I wore the Parsons jersey. Not all the losses. We've had a few wins with that jersey. The Jaden Reed jersey, every time I wear that freaking thing, somebody gets hurt.
Don't wear that anymore.
We don't necessarily lose, but somebody freaking always gets hurt. It's always which I hate, because I love Jaden Reed, and I love wearing that jersey. So anyways, just thank God. Just thank God I'm going to wash this jersey. It's going to be we're going to get all the bad crap out of it.
Needs a good washing, then we'll be all right.
Josh Jacobs fumbling, man. Your best player, and I think he was hurt, I'll be honest. And if that's true, I mean, like, he's one of your best players. You got to hold on to the ball, man. I mean, because even if we don't get a touchdown there, I mean, we still can get a field goal. Like, just one more score in this game, and it's over, dude.
Well, that is what's frustrating. It's like, who's going to step up? We need guys to step up. And I go through it tomorrow. We do PFF, and it's like everybody just has their worst day. Nobody freaking shows up. Nobody. And it reminds me of, we went to the playoffs several years ago, and what was it? Aaron Jones with like 3 fumbles. I love Aaron Jones. It's hard to even get mad at Aaron Jones. But there are certain guys that you expect to rise to those kinds of occasions. And the guy that stabs you in the back and basically dashes your dreams in your playoff hopes is the guy that is, like how do you get mad at him? But at the same time, like, how are you the one that did this? What is freaking going on? Of all people, you're the one that's supposed to show up and then scold everybody else and be like, you guys suck and need to show up for these games. I'm tired of coming here and doing all this and nobody else is going to help me. How are you the one that messed it up? We shouldn't have Josh Jacobs and Romeo Doubs being the 2 guys that basically lost this game for us. How does that happen? That shouldn't happen. Ever. And instead we got Brenton Cox. Like, is anybody going to show up? Like, oh, I will. Like, no, Brenton, shut up. I'm not talking to you. Okay? Thank you for showing up, but I'm not talking to you. Will anybody else show up? Please. No? Nobody? Not a single body. Great. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patronage. Good freaking Lord. Jordan hasn't had a good game in 2 weeks. I guess, are we just done? Are we done then? Should we pack it in? Maybe everybody's beat up. We need, who plays well? Malik, Brenton Cox, all the guys that haven't played this year. They're healthy. They're not hurt. Fine, bring in the backups. Let's let Clayton Tune frickin' play this week. Might as well. Apparently everybody's just tired and needs a break. We need that second bye week. Maybe we should add another week. We'll add another week and another bye week. Add 2 weeks to the season and a bye week. You know what I'm saying? Just do it because everybody's burned out. Injuries all across the NFL. Nobody wants to play. Nobody can play. Anyways, continue.
Like, well, so let's think it would have been 19 to whatever, 6 or whatever the hell they had. There's no way the Bears are catching up. The Bears didn't do anything, man.
Yeah.
The Bears were not good. They're not a good team. I'll take them in the playoffs. Give me the Bears in the playoffs because they will not freaking beat us, man. They will not. I don't care if it's at Soldier, Lambeau, or in Iraq. I don't care where it is. We'll beat them, dude. That's bullcrap. And I just don't. Is Romeo Doubs, does he practice that? Because it clearly looked like he's never done that in his life. I mean, he's just bumbling like, oh my God. It looks so stupid. Just stupid mistakes that we're making, man. These teams that we lose to, they never actually beat us. We only just shoot ourselves. And I'm so sick of that.
Right. I agree.
And then the play call on the fourth down, I didn't mind going for it, but it's just like, that's the best we could come up with, man. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we're way better than that, man. And we've seen it before. And I just don't know why, like, we get in these situations where we're just getting brain dead. But anyways, yeah, I'm glad I get to watch New Jersey. We'll beat the Ravens. Screw it. I don't care. I already put a $10 bet in. Go Pack, go.
Attaboy. That's the spirit. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got RLS.
Hey, what's up, Ryan? It's RLS again.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, I typically try not to drop calls this much, but I think this is more of a Packers therapy session for me here. Just trying to enjoy my Sunday, not watching football. I'm trying not to think about
I didn't watch
Packers,
football either.
You know, they keep.
This is like the first Sunday I just didn't. It felt good too. Like it was on, and I tried to do it, and then Hulu was being stupid like it does all the time, and it's like you have to re-log in. Nope, screw it. I'm not watching football, and I didn't regret it. I did regret missing. Apparently, the Lions Steelers game was pretty wild. That's unfortunate, but I don't regret it. I still don't. I wouldn't change it.
Creeping in my mind, I keep thinking about the game and the season overall. And, I swear, I think I put too much of my mood on football during the season. Well, on the football, I got to stop doing it. I got to get back to my hobbies and keep myself occupied. Football just needs to be a part, of my fall and winter.
Yeah.
I can't keep letting it be everything.
I mean, don't stop listening, but maybe you can pull back and then just tune in to find out what's going on. Just a thought. Don't leave me.
But anyways, I called because I was just thinking, and maybe this is forceful. I'm trying to draw parallels to 2010 and this year. But I'm trying to put myself in 2010, like how I felt, rolling into it. And I'm thinking it's very possible we could run into the Bears in the divisional round.
Sure.
Or if, they drop some games and, we could probably see them in the NFC championship, At some point we could see them, right? And I'm thinking to myself, it's not looking good for us, but it wasn't looking good for us in 2010 either.
Right.
And there were moments before the season ended, I thought, our 2010 team was broken as well. But I remember feeling this exact same way, shortly before our, the run that we went on. I remember feeling the same way, like, man, this is hopeless. We've lost so many players. This just isn't going to work out. Like literally almost felt the same way as I do now. And I'm just remembered, like, I just kind of took it one victory at a time, Every time we beat somebody, I was just like, damn, this seems looking better and better.
We just need a run the table proclamation. We just need Jordan to get up and be like, I don't know, man, something good happened there at the end, and we really hitting our stride, and I feel like we could run the table.
And then I started believing again, and I guess I'm just trying to put myself back into that state of mind. And I guess I would encourage other Packers fans too. Easier said than done, and maybe, like I said, I'm forcefully drawing parallels, but it's helping me feel better today. It's helping me look forward to the next game and the game after that. I think I need to just stop, slow down, and literally just do the cliche, 1 week at a time, one W at a time, one, whatever at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's helping me. And my little, I have to go. This is the lady. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Talk to you later, man. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at that kind of stuff, but in reality, it's, again, what else are we going to do? I mean, it seems ridiculous, but at the same time, that is the whole point. The whole point of it didn't feel good that year. I think some people, and I can't speak for what other people were thinking, but some people will downplay that and be like, no, we were a pretty good team. And it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, we were certainly a pretty good team, but I definitely remember giving up on that season. I mean, I've talked about it already, where it's like, that was the whole point of why now I refuse to give up on a season, which I've failed to do many times. But that was when that started. I would never again doubt that it's possible, because, they went on the run and did what they did. So, I mean, it's not really debatable as far as, the situation being dire. We needed help to get into the playoffs and everything else. I mean, it was never really a super dominant thing. I know when we played the Eagles that first round, it was pretty iffy. It was doable, but it was pretty iffy. And even that game was close, and it came down to some of our backups helping with making big plays, like the final interception. And I know against the Falcons, it was like, forget it. The Falcons at home were really, and it was Matt LaFleur as the quarterback coach and Shanahan as the offensive coordinator. That was when Matt Ryan, was only year winning MVP, and it was a dominant freaking offensive powerhouse. And that was really not supposed to be a win. And we won, So it was overcoming a lot of odds. And I've said it before, it got to the point where I almost knew we were going to win the Super Bowl, because it felt impossible that we could lose, because we've overcome so much. Which is to say, in my mind, we had just completed miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. How in the world do we get to the Super Bowl and then lose? It was just impossible in my mind. So, whatever version you remember, fine, but I know what I remember, and I know that I'm not misremembering it. That was a pretty remarkable series of events that took place.
Ryan, what's up, buddy? It is a sad Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Oh, that was definitely a nightmare-inducing, rolling, tossing, and turning all night type of game. I should say last 2 minutes of the freaking game, anyway, last night. And there's a lot of understandable reaction online and from Packer fans last night and today, and I understand it. I share some of it. I guess I have a little bit different take. I'm a little bit surprised, actually, that the way I feel. First of all, I know last week you were saying, hey, where's everybody that said they were sure this was a Super Bowl team, and now suddenly we lose Parsons, and everybody's like, oh, man, Super Bowl's off. And I think that's a fair criticism. I guess I would just say this. I thought after the Lions game that there was a chance this could be a Super Bowl team, more than just a puncher's chance. And last week, it was more the fact that through 2.5 quarters at Denver was the first time this season where I was like, holy crap. We might actually win the freaking Super Bowl. We're in there just putting belt to ass on the Broncos.
Yeah.
In the moments before that, it all went off the rails. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this isn't just a pipe dream. And it was the way that it fell apart for me, the devastation of last week. It was just it went from that realization to what ended up happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so, look, to see the guys come out, not feeling sorry for themselves, I thought the team played really well. And then you lose your quarterback. Okay? Again, look at all the opportunities this team had to freaking quit. And they did not quit. Not before Love went down, not after, not you're losing guys left and right.
Yeah.
The team didn't quit, man. Okay? That's number one. I hear some people say, oh, they just quit. They didn't quit, okay? They played hard. And here's the thing, dude. I need to call you back. I need to get this point out. I'm going to run up against the clock here.
Okay, part 2.
So the Bears fans obviously are like ecstatic today. They've caused suffering in the Packers. The last week was a realization this team obviously isn't going to Super Bowl, like barring some like Powerball style odds. I wanted to see us have a meaningful, somewhat satisfying end of this season. See some growth and set the table for next year. I hate to say that, but that was kind of like, all right, probably the situation. They came out, they played hard, they shut down the Bears freaking completely for most of that game, man. All right. Ultimately came down to, of course it did, a special teams mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And then that momentum. I mean, I honestly was shocked that they didn't go for 2 against us.
I was too.
The Bears ended up being, I guess, correct in that, but I've heard a lot of comparisons to the 2014 game against Seattle today. Yes, there are parallels, but let's be real here, okay? The Packers now for 2 consecutive weeks have been dealt like existential knockout blows, and they keep getting off the mat. They got off the mat. That was clear against Chicago. And I'm hoping they're going to get off the mat against Baltimore because there's still a hell of a lot to play for. Now, a lot of that's going to be down to the health of our quarterback, but Bears fans today are celebrating. Bro, they know the truth. Dude, we beat their ass with our C team.
Right.
Any Bears fan that's going to tell you that if we have our quarterback that whole game, like we don't just walk them right out of there, is out of their mind. No objective viewer is going to look at that and be like, oh, yeah, the Bears are better. No, the Bears are better in a couple plays at the end of the game. Otherwise, the Packers, without almost all their key players, were better. They were the better team. There's no world in which, the Bears are ascending, the Packers are declining. No, we're the better team in both games. We're the better team. Full stop. Bears fans know we're the better team, but Bears fans made some plays and they beat us. So they should be happy about that.
Right.
It's not like they're the ascending team and we're over and the Bears are now. No, that's all garbage. And ultimately, yes, it'd be great to win a division for bragging rights. There was almost a 50% chance going into this that these 2 teams play again in 2 weeks. Okay? It's just where are you playing? So I don't know, man. I just think like, yeah, we can all feel sorry for ourselves. That's fine. There's still a lot to play for. We were still the better team. It's gutting how bad things went in the last 2 minutes of that game, but we were the better team despite everything. And we're the better team. And I pray for another opportunity to end the Bears season. It would be the best kiss, freaking perfect salvation for this season. So stop crying. Let's move on and let's freaking do it, man.
Yeah, I'm with you in that. I mean, that's the frustrating thing. There is, like you said, so many positive that you look at what they did against Denver. You look at the fact that they basically dominated for 4 quarters the Chicago Bears. They kept, making enough mistakes like the fumble by Jacobs and, obviously field goals instead of touchdowns or whatever. But I mean, it was 4 quarters of just beating the crap out of the Chicago Bears. And, again, against Denver, they moved the ball against them like they didn't exist. That's one of the best defenses in football. They're also up against, though, this just sort of seeming insurmountable just injury thing. I mean, it's similar to like the Lions last year where you look at it and like it's a good team, but I just don't think this is overcomable, I mean, anything could happen. Guys come back healthy. You get Jordan back and you get, a good string of luck with health. Who knows? But it just that to me is the biggest. That's one of the many complications that I'm seeing. We still got to see what this defense can do without Micah. I think that was a really good first effort without him. But I also think there were a lot of not great things And also, you know, we put some stuff on tape, and so now what do you do moving forward? What is your official, like, this is our defense thing? But, you know, it's 1 week at a time, and we just need to get enough players together, healthy, that can play 4 quarters and not just absolutely crap the bed at the end of the game, if at all possible. That would just be fantastic if we can go ahead and pull that out.
Hey, real quick, just one other thing, man. I know you got a lot of calls, but like I've been hearing this narrative, like, you know, oh, the Packers are a team, you know, looking for answers today. To hell we are. What answers are we looking for, man? We ain't looking for answers. We know what the team knows. What, dude? You're in the red zone. What, 5 or 6 times? You put up 9 points.
Yeah.
You don't need answers. You got an answer. That's
right.
Why you lose your starting quarterback. Okay? And then you put a guy with like concussion issues on the hands team who looks timid as hell. Like he literally looks like he didn't practice. Look, I hate it, man, because Romeo had a freaking amazing
He had a
game.
great day.
I don't know what PFF's going to say, but just it sure as hell seemed to me like Doubs had like it's just one of his greatest games until he's out there on hands team and just looks like he's afraid of the ball. But I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, Romeo's got to do that, but like, is there not guys maybe that aren't wearing the freaking bobble hat that should be out there doing that? I don't know, just at a glance. But like, are we a team looking for answers? No. We know the answers. They couldn't fix them all this game, or at least they tried up till the last minute. But like, dude, it's not a team looking for freaking answers. I can't stand the lazy national media. Like, no, the answers are there. Generational bad special teams. You don't score in the red zone. You lose your starting quarterback. And then you're not prepared to field an onside kick. Okay? Like, yes, it feels a little bit more damaging where instead of somebody kicking like a 52-yard field goal in the wind to win, they like have it a bomb over the top. I didn't care. I already walked out of the room. I'm like, yeah, we ain't winning. It really didn't matter to me what that looked like. Sure, the Bears fans are going to love the fact that it was some bomb to more or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay? It didn't matter what. They were going to get points as soon as we fumbled the ball. You know, but as far as the team looking for answers, no, I reject that completely. We've known the answers to the tests that special teams are abysmal. They were pretty good this game, I would say, with the exception of that. I know players had to execute. The way that Doubs was out there and with his history of, I don't know. I questioned the coaches there. I know that he's got to like actually execute that play, but it just seemed like the eye test was, well, gee, that doesn't look like a guy that's drilled this a couple times. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess it's lazy to just say that the coaches of special teams should just be fired, but it's not like this is an isolated instance, you know. These are generationally bad, have been for, I don't know, 9, 10, 12 years at least. So, look, the Packers have all the answers they need. They need to win at least one of these games, hopefully two. Get back in that building in Chicago and beat the ass of that damn Gary Bears team.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. You know, they like you said, they have the answers. They're playing great football. It's just these little stupid things at exactly the wrong time. I mean, I hate to use the word unlucky because it feels like it takes the responsibility away from the Packers, and I don't mean to do that. But it really is, you know, a lot of unfortunate things that if, you know, you run that back 100 times, how many times do the Bears recover that? 2 or 3? That's unlucky. It just is. That's the definitionally what unlucky means. Unless you think that's going to happen 50 times or more, we're talking about a very unlucky thing. And that was unlucky. And again, how many times is there going to be a fumble? The fumble itself is the mistake of the player, but how many times, and by the way, it's not even entirely the mistake of the player. A lot of fumbles come down to like, you know, we want to say that the person that fumbled made a mistake and the person that caused the fumble did some heroic thing. And sometimes that's the case. A lot of times it's just a mistake. A guy's helmet lands perfectly on somebody else. And by the way, it's annoying as hell that was a fumble. I don't know exactly how that rule works, but excuse me, as soon as he's grabbed and starts going backwards, forward progress should end. He was already going backwards and then somebody just rips the ball out of his hand. Apparently this is not like a reviewable thing. We can't go back and you know, whatever. But That should be obvious to me. In my mind, that should be the official rule, and it should be challengeable. If he's going backward, then forward progress stopped. That is like definitionally obvious. And so if you can review it and see that he went backwards and then the ball was ripped out, that's not a fumble. But anyways, the Packers have been very unlucky. And in addition to, sloppy and everything else, whatever, but very unlucky, not only in just the individual things happening, but what they are, the magnitude of them, and when they happen. We go all the way down the field and get all the way down there, and we're about to score again, and there's a fumble. It's just, like you said, the Bears were not the better game. It's just they lucked into a bullcrap win. They did almost nothing, but it was just enough to beat a team that has been beaten down and battered, made just enough mistakes at exactly the right time. The Bears capitalized on every single mistake that was made. That onside kick was not a talent thing. That was purely a luck thing. Fell on the frickin' ball, and at that point, our defense was cooked. They were tired. They were done, and so they moved the ball at will against us. You said, it ended up being the right decision to not go for two. I don't think it was. I think it was the wrong decision. I think they should have gone for it. I think if they had, they would have won. They made the wrong decision and won anyways, because the coin flip went against us. Because again, bad luck. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough to get back on the horse and figure out a way to forge ahead, but they got to figure out how to do it, and they just got to freaking do it. You know what I mean?
Real quick parallel here historically, except in reverse, dude. I was at the game in the Metrodome. I think it was like 2003. Brett Favre. They had lost, I believe, to the Vikings. I think maybe they lost to them at Lambeau that year. So it's like Christmas, end of the year. We go into the Metrodome. I'm at that game with my family. We got our Packers Christmas hats on. And Favre leads a last-second touchdown drive to win the division in the Metrodome. Viking fans, tears everywhere. What happened 2 weeks later, if anybody remembers? The Packers are all high on their own supply. And the Vikings come back into Lambeau Field, and they end our season. Okay? I'm just saying, it does feel a lot like that, and I don't think that's just wish casting, so I'll leave you at that.
Yeah, it's like anything else this year. It's 1 week at a time. Last week doesn't dictate this week. It didn't dictate 2 weeks ago. You never know what's going to happen. And, we always want to pretend that we know what's going to happen, but how has that gone this year? When we were riding high and then everything fell apart and then everything got good again. And, we just don't know from week to week what's going to happen. And attempting to guess has been a miserable failure. So, chin up and we'll frickin' see how she goes, man. That's it. But we got, again, we got 2 weeks of football. And I don't want to spend any more time than we need to crying and whining and spending time giving up on the season or whatever the case may be. I'm not really interested in that. Again, we have a lot. The off season is so long, and we spend all off season. It's kind of like, don't complain about summer when it's summer. All right, don't be talking to me about it's so hot, I don't like it. Shut up, okay? Because at some point it's going to be winter, and it's going to be cold, and it's going to be miserable, and I'm going to hate it. And the last thing I want to hear anybody talking about is how much I wish it wasn't summer. No, we're not doing that. We're going to enjoy it because it's here. Even though sometimes, it's 90 and that's not super enjoyable, I don't care. We're going to enjoy it because it's not 5 below. And, tomorrow it'll be a better day. Maybe. We'll see. It all works. The parallels work. Shut up. That's all we can do. We got another game. We got every reason to be excited. Even, whether Jordan plays or not, I like our chances. Now, if both quarterbacks are out, we're going to lose. That's basically how that goes. But, we got a shot with Malik for sure. Malik has been playing some great football, and we certainly have a chance with Jordan. So, we'll see how she goes. Anywho, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.